Roma, a name that echoes through times, a name that conjures empires, conquest, law, legend, and legacy. But before all that, before legions marched and emperors ruled, before the Senate debated and the Colosseum roared, there was a spark, there was a moment, a beginning. Welcome to From Ashes to Empire, the Rise of Rome. Today we'll see part 1, the legendary creation. Today we go back not just to 753 BC, but beyond that. We peel away the myths, compare the legends, and trace the roots of the city that will one day rule the world. And so our journey began, as many ancient stories do, with betrayal. In the Latin city of Alba Longa, two royal brothers vied for power. Amulius, the younger, overthrew his brother Numitor and seized the throne. Fearing that Numitor's bloodline might one day return to reclaim its right, Amulius forced Numitor's daughter Rhea Silvia to become a Vestal Virgin, a priestess sworn to chastity. But fate, or perhaps the gods, had other plans. Rhea Silvia gave birth to twin sons, Romulus and Remus. The father, some said it was Mars, the god of war himself. Amulius, enraged, ordered the infants thrown into the Tiber River, but the river did not claim them. Instead, it carried them to safety, into the arms, or rather the maw actually, of legend. Because, you see, according to the myth, a she-wolf discovered the twins and suckled them in her den beneath the Palatine Hill. Later, a humble shepherd named Faustulus found them and raised them as his own. So the twins ended up growing into strong, ambitious men, and in time, they learned the truth of their heritage and their bloodline. So with fury and fire in their hearts, they overthrew Amulius and restored their grandfather Numitor to the throne of Alba Longa. But the story didn't end there, because greatness demands far more than just revenge. And so, Romulus and Remus set out to build a new city. A new beginning, but where? You see, Remus favored the Aventine Hill, Romulus the Palatine. And in that disagreement, a spark turned to flame. Remus mocked Romulus' walls. Romulus, in rage or grief, struck him down. "No man shall mock my walls and live," he declared. With his brother dead, Romulus founded his city, Roma, on the Palatine Hill, and thus, on the 21st of April 753 BC, the Eternal City was born, and the rest is history. Now, Romulus was king of Rome, but he had some problems to answer. First of all, he was surrounded by rival tribes, the Sabine, the Volci, the Aequi, the Hernici, and the mysterious Aborigines. These small villages didn't see with a really kind eye these new Romans. And second of all, he had little land, he had no military power, and his population was mostly made up of fugitives. In fact, Romulus even opened a sanctuary, a kind of like ancient refugee camp to attract exiles and outcasts to settle in the new city. But there's still one problem, there's no woman. So what he did, Romulus hosted a grand festival, inviting the neighboring Sabines to attend. During the festivities, at a prearranged signal, Roman men seized the Sabine women and carried them off. Outrage followed, which is quite understandable. The Sabine king, Titus Titus, marched to war. But in the end, the women, now wives and mothers, intervened, begging their fathers and husbands to make peace. The two peoples united. Romulus and Titus ruled together, though Titus will be later assassinated. Who knows who did it? Romulus reigned alone until his mysterious disappearance, so may he ascended to the heavens, becoming the god Quirinus. So, as you see, this was the story of Romulus and Remus and the legendary founding of Rome. But, was that really the beginning? You see, the Romans loved their myths, but they also loved prestige, and what better way to add to glory to your origins than to borrow from the Greeks? See, Greek historians were aware of Rome long before it became powerful, and in classic fashion, they tried to tie Rome's foundation to their own heroic traditions. At least 25 different myths emerged over time, each more fantastic than the last. The most famous, the story of Aeneas, that was recounted by Helenos of Lesbos. So, Aeneas, the Trojan prince, son of Venus, escaped the burning ruins of Troy after the Greek conquest. He wandered the Mediterranean, enduring storms and battles, just like Odysseus. Eventually, he landed near the Italian coast, where he encountered Latinus, king of the native aborigines. Aeneas allied with Latinus against the nearby Rutuli, married his daughter Lavinia, and founded the city of Lavinia. After Aeneas' death, his son Ascanius, also called Lullus, the legendary ancestor of the Julian family, which Caesar and Augustus came from, founded Alba Longa, the mother city of Rome. And so, through this lineage, Romulus and Remus were connected to the divine Venus in the Trojan War, a pedigree worthy of an empire. So, later Roman historians claim that Rome was ruled by 7 kings between its foundation and the birth of a republic in 509 BC. Using Greek-style genealogies, they counted backwards, estimating the first king, Romulus, reigned around 753 BC. But historical truth is murky. The gap between the fall of Troy, dated to 1184 BC, and Rome's founding was filled with fictional kings of Alba Longa to bridge the centuries. It was less about fact and more about legacy. Especially when you consider the fact that the majority of the earliest sources and scriptures were lost during the sack of Rome in 390 BC by the Gauls. So, to sum it up, was Rome founded by Romulus, the wolf child of Mars, by Aeneas, the noble Trojan, or by Evander, the Greek exile who welcomed Heracles? The truth is, it doesn't matter. Because Rome was born, and it was not born in a single moment. It rose from legend. It rose from myth and memory, a city shaped by its desire to be eternal. What mattered most was not where Rome came from, but where will it go. From a blood-soaked hill beside the Tiber, Rome will rise to conquer the known world. But every empire begins with a story, and this was Rome's. Guys, if you enjoyed this journey through the origins of Rome, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your favorite myth, or the one you believe is closest to truth. Was it the wolf, the Trojan, the Greeks? The legend continues in part 2, The Rise of Kings. I'll be a Centurion, and see you soon.